What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Dan Good Show. April showers bring May video game releases, and I may have a few video games I want to talk about this month. Here's your games to watch. As always, make sure you let me know what video games you're looking forward to the most this month, even if it's a game I don't cover.
My name is Giraffe.
To a T is a new game from the Katamari developers, with a strong focus on character interaction, story, and exploration. The game follows teenagers stuck in a T-pose, and they're the only character in this world stuck in a T-pose. And their story is all about finding a sense of self, dealing with this situation that they find themselves in, and finding power in it. It's an absolutely gorgeous game and seems really heavy on music being present at all times. You can explore the seaside town on your unicycle, meet all the town residents, find these beautiful vistas, lots of shopping to do, and a lot of the active gameplay feels like mini games. But the mini games are really just you navigating everyday activities that we wouldn't think about that are a challenge because they're stuck in a T-pose. Almost has a Mario Party-like feel just when we're trying to brush our teeth, when we're trying to eat, when we're trying to pet our dog, a really cute dog. I just really like that silly experience of like creating difficulty from these everyday situations. The teenager's also super customizable, looks like lots of outfits and hairstyle changes, create whatever you want. I'm really excited for this game. Watching the trailers just kind of made me happy. This is your cozy game for the month.
After the end of the world, the burnt one woke from a deep slumber.
Midnight Walk is a dark fantasy adventure made by the Lost in Random team, made entirely out of clay and animated in a stop motion style. Being able to balance this clay stop motion feel with a horror game kind of brings me back to the Nightmare Before Christmas, but way upping the horror. Our character befriends a unique lantern creature called Potboy, and we navigate the Midnight Walk together while bringing light back to this world. Gameplay reminds me of a lot of first-person horror games. There's a little bit of gunplay, but I really like this idea of it feels like the sole source of light in this game comes from Potboy, and you'll bring light back to this world with these different characters, but monsters also want to take this light from you, and I really like that play of navigating the darkness, having this sole source of light that the monsters want, but that you also want to bring back to the world. I really, really like this one. I'm not willing to try this with my VR headset, but this is also available as a VR experience, which I think is really cool. Terrifying, really cool. Shotgun Cop Man is a new 2D platformer from the My Pedro developer team. Premise is simple: you play Shotgun Cop Man, you're on a mission to enter hell and arrest Satan. The level design screams very much of Super Meat Boy to me, but they have a unique traversal mechanic with your shotgun. Your shotgun provides massive damage to enemies, but also massive leaps into the air, while your pistol can shoot a little bit more rapid fire and lower damage, but allows you to cover as you traverse through the map. Once you touch ground, you're able to reload, and then you can keep progressing through the level. The character designs are really freaky in this, but it's kind of wonky, so I kind of love it. But I kind of love the idea of a Super Meat Boy game with a little bit more action, like a twin stick shooter kind of vibe.
It is time to raise hell.
Monster Train 2 is a roguelike deck builder with a unique emphasis on verticality. Enemies will work their way up from the lower levels of your train in an attempt to work their way up to the pyre and take everything out. In this world, Titans have seized control of heaven, and demons and angels aboard the Monster Train in order to stop them. There are tons of new additions in the Monster Train sequel. You'll have 5 new clans, each with their own unique strengths and mechanics. Over 200 cards are being added to the game, including some new card types. Room cards will allow you to buff your train, while equipment cards will add unique improvements to your units. In this Monster Train sequel, you're able to customize your train, you can strengthen your deck with new shops and upgrades, and there's also a new Endless Run mode. Once you feel like you've gotten the flow of the game, there's new dimensional challenges that will add unique mutators to each run. Lately, I've really gravitated towards these roguelike card builder games. In the past few months, I've gotten really into Balatro and Slay the Spire, and I never played the original Monster Train game, so I think it's time to check it out.
You must be averted. And for that, I need your help.
Now, a game that I think needs no introduction is Elden Ring Nightreign. Nightreign isn't a sequel to Elden Ring, but rather a spin-off, and a very unique one with a 3-player co-op PvE experience. We'll have 8 heroes to choose from, as well as 8 epic bosses to take on in the night cycles. The map will slowly shrink with this acid rain, very reminiscent of Battle Royale experiences if you've ever played them, and creates this mad dash to level up as quickly as possible, gear up as quickly as possible in preparation for the night cycle when the bosses come. If you can survive all 3 nights, your final boss is one of these 8 epic ones that you can choose from. All of the heroes have unique abilities and looks. Some of the ones that we got to see in the alpha playtest were really, really cool. There's not much in the way of permanent upgrades for this experience, but you do earn relics both from beating bosses and just general gameplay in your runs. The relics can provide passive upgrades to all of your heroes, and some of them fit each role better than others. If you've played Elden Ring, you're going to recognize the combat very much. Doesn't look like there's a ton of changes there, with the exception of having like locked abilities with each character, but the mobility is crazy different. Your sprint speed is extremely fast, and you do not seem to have stamina with it. And as someone who cannot count the amount of times they have died to fall damage, and from software games, there's no fall damage in this. I know co-op mods are super popular with Elden Ring, and of course there's some co-op elements to Elden Ring anyways, and I think they've really listened to the community and provided this multiplayer experience. I'm super excited for it.
Only you can wield the hammer of the gods and bend steel to your will. You have been chosen, Aram Delira.
There are 2 new action games that are coming out this month that look cool and that I'm cautiously optimistic for. Blades of Fire is one of them. In this world, an evil queen is able to turn steel to stone and conquer the world with her magic. Our character is a new forger or a blacksmith and a former friend of the queen. And it's our job to learn the ways of being a forger, crafting new weapons that can take the queen down. The weapons you forge have a variety of different damage types. The gameplay is very reliant on you matching the correct damage type to the enemy's weakness. As you forge new weapons, you'll notice that they might do slash damage, pierce damage, or blunt damage, and you're constantly switching between the weapons that you create to match your combat scenario. You'll also have a companion on this adventure, but they won't help out in combat. Instead, they play a strategist role, more of a recorder for you as you go along. They're able to update an enemy compendium essentially for you in real time so that you can constantly know which weapon type is appropriate so that you have an advantage. And in the little bit of gameplay that I saw, matching your weapon type is so crucial. Combat is extremely difficult if you do not match the weapon type to the enemy ahead of you. Using a weapon long enough unlocks a forge scroll, which allows you to create newer weapons, have newer combat experiences, and that's kind of the gameplay loop in this. As we go along this adventure in pursuit of taking down the queen, we are constantly upgrading and creating these new weapons to make each encounter more exciting or easier. So again, keep this on your radar, cautiously optimistic.
Impact confirmed. The Slayer has been activated.
At least for me, this is the big one this month. Doom: The Dark Ages is a prequel to the modern Doom games, both the 2016 Doom as well as Doom Eternal. The Dark Ages follows the Doomslayer's medieval war against Hell, adding some dark fantasy elements to the Doom formula. Classic weapons will return in the Dark Ages, but we also get plenty of fresh new weapons. You're gonna see fan favorites like the Super Shotgun. You're also gonna get the highlight weapon, I think, for this game, which is the Shield Saw. Another weapon that I noticed in the gameplay a lot, I believe, is called the Skull Crusher. This is kind of a gnarly weapon. It looks like a skull gets placed in the gun and continually gets grinded to project bullets, which is pretty cool. We'll also have some new mechanics like flying on a mech dragon, as well as piloting the Atlan mech. In any gameplay that I've seen of the Atlan mech, if you've ever enjoyed anything kaiju related, it's that vibe. It's giant robots punching giant monsters. Of all of the Doom games, the Dark Ages speaks to me most. This looks like a grounded, heavier emphasis on story experience. Combat feels way more focused on defense and parries, which speaks to me a lot more than the high-speed verticality, which is not that good anymore. But having that defensive impact with the shield saw looks like so much fun, almost a blend of Captain America and like Gears of War. The dev team scrapped the multiplayer experience this time around. Personally, I think this is for the best. It's allowed them to make a larger, richer single-player experience. Now the emphasis is way more on exploring this world, finding hidden collectibles, really getting into this story, and hopefully that pays off. That's your games to watch for the month of May. Thank you so much for watching the Dan Good Show. A very special thank you before I end this video to Jordan at the Crossover Appeal. My wife and I just welcomed our first baby into our lives, and he arrived very early, so I'm not able to edit this video on my phone. So Jordan reached out wanting some editing experience. This video is brought to you by his editing abilities. I am eternally grateful to him for reaching out so that this video can still come out where I'm taking care of my son. So please, if you made it to the end of this video, go check out his channel at The Crossover Appeal. I'll link it in the video's description.